In every corner of the world, there are secrets, stories that exist beyond understanding. Tonight, we uncover three terrifying haunted tales: the Horizon Corridor, the Infinite Warehouse, the Room That Contains Distance. This is episode 140 of Dynamic Dark. Put on your headphones and let the fear begin. Today's first story is **The Infinite Warehouse***. Four friends **Ethan, Jake, Noah, and Liam loved exploring abandoned places and filming their adventures for social media. One evening, they heard an unsettling rumor about an abandoned warehouse complex located far outside the city. According to locals, the warehouse had never been fully mapped. People who entered after dark often reported hearing footsteps, whispers, and strange movements deep inside the building. Some even claimed they had seen a tall black figure wandering between the aisles. Of course, nobody could prove it, which only made Ethan and his friends more curious. Just before sunset, they arrived at the warehouse. The entrance looked ordinary. Rusted metal doors, concrete floors, endless rows of shelves covered in dust, broken lights hanging from the ceiling. At first, it felt like any other abandoned building. But as they walked deeper inside, an uncomfortable silence surrounded them. The air felt colder. Their footsteps echoed far longer than they should have, and every shadow seemed unnaturally dark. Then Noah noticed a faded warning sign attached to a concrete pillar. **Section C***. The moment the group stepped past it, the atmosphere changed. The warehouse no longer felt empty. It felt haunted, as if something hidden somewhere between the endless aisles had just become aware of their presence. The deeper Ethan, Jake, Noah, and Liam walked into the warehouse, the stranger it became. Rows of metal shelves stretched endlessly into the darkness. Left, right, forward. Every direction looked exactly the same. At first, they laughed about it. But after nearly an hour of walking, they still hadn't reached the end. No exits, no walls, no loading bays. Just endless aisles disappearing into blackness. "This place can't be this big," Jake whispered. To avoid getting lost, Noah grabbed a can of bright orange spray paint and marked a large X on one of the shelves. The group continued forward. 10 minutes later, Liam suddenly stopped. His flashlight illuminated something on the metal shelf beside him. An orange X. The exact same mark. Everyone froze. It was impossible. They had been walking in a straight line the entire time. There was no way they could have returned to the same spot. Trying to stay calm, Ethan painted another mark. Then another. Then another. They walked for 30 more minutes. And every single mark appeared again. Some behind them. Some ahead of them. As if the warehouse was rearranging itself around them. As if distance inside the building no longer meant anything. And somewhere far beyond the shelves, something unseen seemed to be guiding them deeper inside. Hush Hush Narration 3. About an hour later, the group experienced something they couldn't explain. Jake suddenly stopped walking. His flashlight was fixed on something between two distant aisles. At first, nobody saw it. Then Ethan noticed it too. A figure, standing perfectly still in the darkness. A tall black silhouette, at least 10 feet tall. No face. No eyes. No visible features. Just a human-shaped shadow darker than everything around it. Nobody had heard it arrive. Nobody had seen it move. And yet, it was there, watching them. The figure wasn't blocking the path. It wasn't approaching. It simply stood between the shelves as if it belonged there. Liam raised his camera and zoomed in. For a brief moment, the silhouette disappeared behind a shelf. But when he moved the camera again, it was standing several aisles closer. Still motionless. Still silent. As if it had never moved at all. And that's when Nov noticed something even worse. Far deeper in the warehouse, more black figures were standing between the endless rows. Watching. Hush hush narration 4. Terrified by what they had seen, the group decided to check the warehouse's abandoned security room. Surprisingly, a few of the old surveillance monitors were still working. Ethan powered them on. And what appeared on the screens was far worse than anyone expected. The warehouse wasn't expanding. It was repeating the same 200 meters. Again and again. Every camera displayed identical aisles. Identical shelves. Identical warning signs. Identical shadows. As if the building had copied a single section of itself endlessly. But that wasn't the most disturbing part. In every camera feed, the black figure was there, standing motionless between the shelves. Sometimes close, sometimes far away, but always present. Then Nov noticed something terrifying. The figure wasn't in different locations. It was making the exact same pose in every recording. As if the warehouse wasn't showing different ghosts, but the same entity existing in every repetition at once. And no matter which camera they selected, the figure always seemed to be staring directly at them. Hush hush narration 5. Determined to prove the figure was real, Ethan decided to approach it alone. The others stayed behind while he activated his body camera and walked deeper into the warehouse. For hours, he followed the motionless silhouette. 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. Yet the figure never appeared any closer. No matter how far he walked, the same distance remained between them. Eventually, exhausted and frustrated, Ethan returned to the group. The black figure was gone. At least, that's what he thought. Later that night, the friends reviewed the body camera footage. At first, everything looked normal. Then Liam paused the video. Behind Ethan, between the shelves, stood a tall black figure, the same one they had been following. They checked another part of the recording. It was still there. Another. Still there. Every single frame showed the silhouette standing behind him, always at exactly the same distance, always watching. And then Nov noticed something horrifying. There wasn't just one figure. As the footage continued, more black silhouettes began appearing deeper in the darkness, following him, matching his pace. For 6 straight hours, Ethan hadn't been chasing the entity. The entities had been following him. The next morning, Ethan was gone. His camera was found lying on the warehouse floor. But there was no sign of him. No footprints. No struggle. No evidence that he had ever left Section C. Authorities searched the building for days. They found nothing. The only clue was a final entry written inside the maintenance log. A single sentence. It doesn't move because it already exists everywhere I will go. After Ethan's disappearance, the warehouse was sealed permanently. Steel doors were welded shut. The property was abandoned. And eventually, forgotten. But the story didn't end there. Years later, technicians monitoring the abandoned facility began receiving alerts from motion sensors deep inside Section C. Every night. At exactly the same time. The sensors activated. Not in one location, but dozens. Sometimes hundreds. Across different aisles simultaneously. As if countless figures were moving through the warehouse at once. Yet when security cameras were checked, the aisles appeared completely empty. Except for one thing. In the far distance of every recording, a tall black silhouette stood motionless between the shelves. Watching. Waiting. As if it had been there all along. Today's second story is the Horizon Corridor ***. 4 researchers Ethan, Mason, Olivia, and Ava ***, were part of a deep-sea exploration team stationed at an isolated ocean research facility. One night, the facility detected a hidden structure buried nearly 900 meters beneath the ocean floor. No blueprints. No construction records. No explanation for why it existed. Curious and eager to make history, the team volunteered to investigate. After a long elevator descent into the darkness below, they finally reached the bottom. Waiting for them was a single corridor. Plain concrete walls. Dim overhead lights. Cold air. Complete silence. Nothing appeared unusual. Yet something felt wrong. The corridor stretched so far into the distance that its end could not be seen. Even stranger. The lights continued endlessly toward the horizon. As if someone had built a hallway far larger than the underground structure itself. Then Ava noticed something disturbing. Every light fixture ahead appeared identical. The same scratches. The same stains. The same tiny crack in the metal casing. Repeating again and again into the distance. As if the corridor wasn't extending forward, but copying the same section of itself forever. And somewhere beyond the visible horizon, something seemed to be waiting in the darkness. Unable to understand the corridor's true size, the team decided to send a reconnaissance drone ahead. The small machine disappeared into the distance while Ethan monitored the live feed. At first, everything seemed normal. Concrete walls, dim lights, an empty hallway. But after 30 minutes, the drone had already traveled more than 5 kilometers. And nothing had changed. No doors. No side passages. No intersections. Just the same endless corridor. The team assumed they would eventually find a dead end. They were wrong. 20 kilometers later, the corridor remained identical. The same walls. The same lights. The same silence. Hours passed. The drone crossed 100 kilometers. Yet the signal remained perfectly stable. And still, there was no end. No destination. No indication that the corridor had ever been built for human use. Then Olivia noticed something unsettling. Every few minutes, the drone would pass the exact same crack in the wall. The exact same stain on the floor. Again. And again. and again, as if it wasn't traveling deeper into the corridor at all, but moving through an impossible place where distance had stopped meaning anything. Hush hush. Narration 3. Then the team noticed something strange. At the far horizon, a black figure had appeared. Tall, motionless, human-shaped. They zoomed in. Nothing changed. They zoomed again. Still the same distance. No matter how powerful the camera became, the figure never got closer. And somehow, it seemed to be looking directly at them. Hours later, a second drone was deployed. Then a third. Every drone reported the same thing. The corridor never changed. And the black figure never moved. Yet something felt wrong. Frame-by-frame analysis revealed a terrifying detail. The figure wasn't getting closer. It was getting larger. Every new recording showed it slightly taller than before, as if it was growing with the corridor itself. And if the calculations were correct, it was already far bigger than any human could possibly be. Hush hush. Narration 5. The final drone traveled farther than any of the others. Then it transmitted a single image. The black figure wasn't alone. There were hundreds of them. Tall black silhouettes standing motionless across the horizon, watching. And beyond them, the corridor simply ended. Not with a wall, but with darkness. A place where reality seemed to stop. Hush hush. Narration 6. The last transmission arrived moments later. Audio only. A terrified operator whispered, "It isn't waiting for us. Pause. It's measuring us." The signal cut out. The corridor was sealed permanently. But years later, the system still detects movement at the far end, always at the exact same distance. And the logs show one more anomaly. The readings aren't coming from inside the corridor. They're coming from asterisk where the observers are standing. Asterisk. Today's final story is asterisk asterisk the room that contains distance asterisk asterisk. A secret physics experiment was conducted inside a sealed chamber designed to eliminate all spatial reference. 4 volunteers asterisk asterisk Ethan, Lucas, Mia, and Zoe asterisk asterisk were selected for the trial. No windows, no sound, no magnetic interference, no visual landmarks. The room was meant to study how humans perceived space when all reference points were removed. At first, everything appeared completely normal. The first anomaly appeared after only a few hours. Researchers reported that distances felt wrong. A wall that should have been 3 meters away suddenly required 20 steps to reach. Later, it required 50, then 100. Yet instruments insisted the room had never changed size. But there was a deeper problem. The room was not expanding. It was deciding how far 3 meters actually meant. As the experiment continued, the problem became impossible to ignore. The subjects could see the walls clearly, but reaching them became harder every hour. Distance itself felt unstable. Steps stretched longer than they should. Movements slowed without reason. The room wasn't expanding. And then the researchers realized the terrifying truth. Distance was no longer a measurement. It was a decision being made by the room itself. Then came the observation log. At what researchers described as the farthest measurable point, a figure appeared. A black silhouette. featureless, motionless, standing alone in the darkness. At first, it looked like a measurement error, a trick of the sensors. But every camera confirmed it. The entity was real. Every attempt to approach it failed. Because the farther they walked, the farther away it became. Then one researcher noticed something in the logs. The figure had been detected before the experiment even began. Days later, new measurements revealed something terrifying. The figure was not moving away. Instead, the maximum possible distance inside the room was increasing. And the silhouette always occupied that point, no matter how far away that point became. Then the calibration logs updated themselves. Without any human input, the system had started rewriting its own scale. One scientist wrote, "It is not approaching us. Pause. It is defining the limits of distance itself." The experiment ended after all depth measuring equipment failed simultaneously. Researchers could no longer determine the size of the room or the distance to anything inside it. The chamber was sealed, but surveillance cameras remain active, and something was still wrong. Every recording shows the same thing: a black silhouette standing at the farthest visible point, watching. But now the cameras are detecting a new anomaly. The room is no longer inside a facility. It is inside the distance the cameras can still understand. This was episode 140 of Dynamic Dark. Which story ruined your night? Tell us in the comments. The most terrifying comment will be pinned. Episode 141 is coming. Creepypasta horror stories are even darker and more cursed. Like, subscribe and press the bell icon if you dare to step into the darkness again. Everyday new horror episode at 7:45 p.m. only on Dynamic Dark.